Well, good morning and welcome to this week's edition of Coffee with a Coach. I guess it could also be Red Bull with the Coach. I'm actually in Illinois this weekend and I'm doing some work. I'm driving my daughter cross country from California to Maryland. So while she's out visiting with her boyfriend, I've got the hotel room to myself and I can do some work. So I thought I would just chat with you primarily around an email I got this past week. The woman's name is Gail and it goes something like this. Dear Coach, I'm the manager of a small fast food restaurant and I'm very concerned with the lack of work ethic I see from some of my younger employees. They show up late to work, seem to be very unmotivated. I've caught several of them stealing, and I don't seem to get the feeling that many of them are really concerned with doing a good job. Is this just what I experience, or is this going on in other parts of the country? Well, Gail, that's a great question, and I will tell you that I have noticed in some instances that younger workers new to the workforce don't have the strong work ethic that maybe some of us did when we started. On the other hand, I've also worked in enough organizations to see that if an organization has no real impetus to get better, no external factors forcing it to change, and a culture of somewhat entitlement, you'll see that same work ethic. I've seen it in some corporate customers, but I've seen it a fair amount in the federal government. So the question is it rampant? I don't think it's rampant everywhere, but it is present. So the big question is, what do you do about it? Well, I think number one, if you're starting with younger workers, the key is going to be to communicate with them and get them to think about their job as them working in their own business. If you had your own business, and some of you who are listening may, you probably watch everything very carefully. I get after my younger kids when they take paper out of my printer because it costs me something. If an individual, a young person, can say, hey, if this was my business, would I be doing that? There's a very good chance that they would give more work ethic there, better work ethic. On the other hand, with older workers, and I'm not talking about old workers, I'm talking about maybe professionals that have been in over 10 years. The question is, if you are not doing something now to better the bottom line, then why are you here? And I think if more employers looked at that very carefully, they would find that. In this Great Recession, one of the reasons I believe that employers are not reluctant to hire is that when they did their massive layoffs, they suddenly realized that we're not really losing much in productivity. I believe here there's a sense of entitlement. I have to work, therefore I'm going to cut corners as much as I can because I have to work. And I'm doing you a favor by being here. And if you're not going to pay me what I think I'm worth, I'm not going to give you 100%. So I do believe that companies probably won't hire in great droves as things go on because they're able to work with people who actually give 100%. I say this in a lot of my workshops, and I firmly believe this. A true, good, hard day at work is similar to the last day before you take a week of vacation. Normally you come to work with a plan in mind and you get busy. There's no goofing off, there's no taking long breaks. You come to work with a purpose so that when you're done at the end of that day, you can take 1 week off of work and not have to worry about stuff piling up for you. I would imagine, and I've done this as well, that at the end of the day I'm tired but I'm not mentally exhausted. And if everybody was to work every day like that, I truly believe that everything would improve. So the question is, can people do that? Well, it's absolutely a choice. If there's no reason to change, people probably won't. If you're a manager, here's what I would tell you. Number one, hold people's feet to the fire. Make sure that when they're at work, they're actually working. Work and develop some really good job objectives for them so they understand that while they're there, they're really supposed to make a difference. Talk about what they do and how it matters to the bottom line, the bigger picture, the mission statement, whatever that might be. And when it comes to younger workers, take the time to show them that this, in fact, should be treated like it was their own business. If it's your own business, you're not going to cut corners, you're not going to slack off, you're certainly not going to steal, nor would you tolerate it from the people around you. I believe that's the key to getting it done. So Gail, hopefully you can take those lessons, start really cracking down on your folks, and as you're hiring them, ask behavioral questions. Find out if they really know what it takes to do a great job. Not easy, but I think absolutely necessary. I hope that helps, and I really appreciate the questions. Of course, to get a question to me, go to www.askthecoachrightnow.com. Ask your question. Be happy to answer it on Coffee with a Coach. So with that, I hope you have a great week. I'm heading home tomorrow, 12-hour straight drive, but I think it'll be fun. So have a great week. I'll see you next week on Coffee with a Coach.